Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a Tuesday edition, a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida. Right there is Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check out the good folks at International Diamond Center. Today's program will have Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Got a lot to talk about today. If you missed it last night, the Spurs upset the OKC Thunder in double overtime in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Tonight, you get the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Cavs and the Knicks. Men's golf leads up in Columbus, Ohio after day one. All they got to be is in the top 5 to move on to the national championship. And then Gator softball, as we know, we'll talk with Edgar about that, face the Lady Red Raiders. Let's go to the Titan More Hotline. Our man Edgar Thompson. What's up, Edgar? How you doing, bud?
Good morning. Doing fine. I stayed up for that game. That thing kept a late ending, but it was a pretty exciting game. Tell you, Wemby, man, it's unbelievable, that guy.
He is. So is Shea Gildress Alexander.
Well, Caruso had a game of his life, but yeah, God, the guy at 7'5", I mean, pulling up from 30 feet and hitting a shot, it's unbelievable.
Real quick here, we'll get this out of the way. We don't know much about it, but Chris on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, how do we feel about the new president? Seems to be a sports guy for sure. I hope he's a sports guy. Look, I get the whole academic, we're top 5 public institution. That does nothing for anybody watching our program here, right?
No.
We could win in a lot of sports.
Well, I mean, there are people that care about
I know
things other than sports, but myself included. But I will say, I mean, the guy served as president on the Southeastern Conference from 2023 to 25 and on the executive committee for 4 or 5 years. So he's obviously has some interest in sports. And I mean, mechanical engineering degree, PhD, so he's pretty smart. So it seems like a good hire. They got to get him over the finish line. They couldn't get the last guy, but I don't see why there would be any hold up here. So anyway, big news. I know this has been dragging on for eternity. So I'm wondering if it has what it has held up in terms of projects or anything like that going on. I don't know. I don't know what not having the president, how that's held UF back, but you certainly want one.
Speaking of projects and stuff, Edgar, obviously, I hadn't been in the stadium since the last game, and I was there for the Morgan Wallen concert.
Mm-hmm.
When do they start the renovations of the stadium? Do you know?
I think it's going to be after this season, but that isn't clear yet.
Okay.
It's coming, but it's going to be a long process because it's going to be spread out and they're going to keep playing at the Swamp.
Yeah, they're going to have, I mean, you can't go play somewhere else. So there'll be construction going on around here for quite some time. Once
Like
that's
about a 3-year project, maybe.
Yeah. Chris and Maaka on the Titan MR text line said, nobody considers Alabama to be an academic school. Hopefully he favors our athletics when he gets here. Look, we're going to be good in academics regardless. I could go be the president and we'd be all right.
Nick Saban was involved somehow in this process. I saw on Twitter.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, but he worked with the guy for a number of years, so maybe he was interviewed. I don't know. Anyway, enough school president.
Gators golf, men's golf, had a really good day yesterday, day one up in Columbus, Ohio.
Hmm.
As I mentioned earlier, they just need to be in the top five to move on. What can you tell us? I know you did a story, or I don't know if it's come out yet, but we talked about it off air,
What?
um, about Paula and her boyfriend who's on the men's team. Did you ever run that story?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
SECs because Jack Turner, who's the number one player at Florida, scoring average, plays top of the lineup. I mean, he and Poulter are kind of the two horses, but Parker Sands, excuse me, is winning right now. He's 5 under. And then Jack's 2 under, and no one else is even under par. And Florida is 6 under right now, and second place is +5.
Yeah.
This course is a beast. It's a Jack Nicklaus design, Ohio State, where he went from Columbus. It's a beast. And the Gators are just like, it's an incredible day they had yesterday. Um, but no, Jack and Paula, um, she won the SEC title, and I wrote how he was going to try to match her. And just he talked about how impressed he was with her work ethic. It's funny, I've been out there. I'm back playing a little bit after a long layoff. And I was out there hitting balls a couple of different times. And she was out there on the other end of the range by herself, no one else out there both times. And then I was out there another day and he was out there hitting balls with her. So she works, man. She's relentless. But the
This is in
Caitlin
my
Huber, the Gainesville girl, Caitlin Huber, who
yeah,
we've seen over there playing since she was like 10 years old.
yeah.
She had a great regional.
Yeah, she works her tail off too. This, in my opinion, is JC's best team he's had.
It's deep.
Yeah,
When you got your fourth or fifth guy shooting 5 under on a brutally tough golf course, I mean, it shows you how deep you are.
yeah.
I mean, Swanwick's the one who really, if he puts it together, because man, that guy can just strike it. Look, it's a very deep team. They could win it all this year.
Yeah, I like their chances.
The Gators, by the way, have not won a national title, I believe, yet, right?
You talking about in any sport this year?
Mm-hmm. Because they have that streak of like a dozen years. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to think. Swimming didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
and well,
Track
they
still has an
finished second.
opportunity. I
Yeah,
think track, men's and women's golf, softball and baseball, those are the only sports still left playing.
the women's track team could do it.
Yeah.
They dominated the SECs. Did you see? And that was Mouse's 20th SEC title, which is pretty remarkable.
Michael says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, referring back to the potential new president. Maybe he will make it easier for legacy and native Floridians to go to UF. Amen to that, my man. Amen. I've been raising hell about that for a long time. It's ridiculous. Um, Clint asked on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, who's that guy at Auburn that I like? Well, he's the number one amateur in the world.
Well, Jackson Coiven.
Jackson Coiven, yeah. Is Auburn the number one overall seed?
They're number one in the nation. Florida's 2,
Yeah.
and the women are 3. I wrote on that last week how 2 top 3 programs. I ran into Dudley Hart in the parking lot, and I asked him because Dudley's been around the program a long time, and he said he doesn't remember both teams being in the top 3, but he said those are only rankings, and the men have gone out and played to that ranking. I mean, dominating that regional after one day.
All right, Edgar. Let's
What
talk a
you
little Gator softball. Obviously, Tim Walton's got a really good squad. It was good to see Keegan Rothrock throw well in the regional because I think it all comes down to her. How she, sometimes she gets into this where she walks too many girls. But boy, tough draw. Texas Tech rolling in here with maybe the best pitcher in America who took their team to um, the championship series last year against the Longhorns. She's the highest paid softball player, I believe, in America. What do you think about the Red Raiders?
I think it's an insane matchup. Who the hell drew this up?
I said it when the brackets came out, I go, this is bull crap.
How did for one Texas Tech end up with an 11th seed at
Well,
55 and 6?
I
Is
asked
it
Ryan
schedule?
Urquhart. Ryan Urquhart, who's the voice of Lady Gator softball, was on last week
Oh
before
yeah.
the regionals, and I asked him that because I'm like, look, not only do they have Najee Kennedy, who's maybe the best pitcher in base and softball, but their number two is ridiculous also.
She's
And we know they throw
24
a
and
lot of
1.
money, but he said the Big 12 is not very stout, from a RPI standpoint, and their out of conference play and all that stuff was not great. The strength of schedule, I guess. But good Lord.
No, it is strength of schedule, but they're 55 and 6. Najari Canaday, who you were talking about, the pitcher, she hasn't been as dominant this year. Last
No.
year ERA was 0.9, now it's 1.42, but she's still 23 and 5, 215 strikeouts and 152 innings. But the one is that I wasn't even aware of was this UCLA transfer, who I'm sure is getting a big bag herself, Caitlin Terry, left-hander. This
Hmm.
woman's 24 and 1 and 152 Ks in 126 innings, but she's also batting 470, 10 homers, 55 RBI. I mean, she's like a poor woman's Lauren Hager here. And then you got Mia Williams, who left Florida, Jason Williams' daughter,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
She has 22 homers and 77 RBI. She's kicking ass there. And she's one of three players. Dude, they're hitting 389 as a team and 128 home runs. Now, Florida's hitting well as a team and has 102 home runs, 355, both seventh nationally. But they're second and third in batting average and home runs. And they got like two pitchers. So Florida's going to be facing fresh pitching, whereas Keegan is going to really have to throw a lot. And you would think. So it's a pretty brutal matchup, but they do get them at home. It's a great home environment. It's going to be hot as hell out there. And Lubbock, I mean, it gets hot in West Texas, but this is like a different heat here.
Yeah. Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meloff, Tex Mia Williams was a Gator this year. She would lead the team in home runs and RBI. She's had a great year. She has. However, I don't know if she'd have those same stats in the SEC facing the pitching that you have to face. You got to remember there's not many good teams in the Big 12 in softball.
She was good here last year.
Yeah, her first year she struggled.
She was not good.
Yeah.
It was like I was wondering if it was this height, but then she was very good last year. I mean, Jocelyn Erickson didn't have a great weekend, but she's been great. I mean, 20 and 77 or
Yeah.
whatever, 71, whatever it is. Shoemaker, though, is just incredible. That woman, my Lord. She first day she had 5 RBI, 3 home runs. And then the next day she was 0 for 3. But I think she got on base maybe once, but and it was like, huh. And then the next day she was determined. She watched film. It was like, what did Tim say? I asked him about it. He goes, look, nobody knows she went 0 for more than her. She was pissed. She's watching film. She goes out 2 run, she hits a double, scores, 2 run homer next inning, and then she got on base 2 innings later and scores. First 4 runs of the game she accounted for. She's amazing.
She's the best hitter. I've been following Gator softball since Tim became the coach here. So this is year 21, I guess.
Yeah,
In my
21.
opinion, she's the best hitter he's ever had.
I love Lorenz, but this girl
Oh, she
looks
was
like
great
she's
too.
better.
Yeah,
And it's funny, they come from the same system in California. Like Shoemaker grew up look kind of idolizing Lorenz. It's this Southern California deal.
travel team. Yeah,
Something, but yeah, so Lorenz, Shoemaker's known Lorenz since she was a little girl. So, but yeah, he's like this girl's been doing this since she's like 7, 8 years old. Just like she's just. And then you look at her and she's like an athlete. She
yep.
came in, you can see like her neck. I mean, she's tall. Yeah, she's impressive, man. She's hitting 446 and like 18 homers, and she's gonna break the school record for runs scored this year, Skylar Wallace's record. So
Ruzoga State Farm.
she's worth the price of admission, but she's gonna need help because
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
Ruzoga State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. All right, Edgar. Daryl says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Curious to know how many SEC track programs have one coach leading both programs. What Mouse has done with both of these programs is remarkable. That's a great question. I've never really thought about that. Do you know if other universities or teams in the SEC have just one coach handling? I want to say swimming does that right now. Isn't Anthony Nesty the coach of the men's and women's teams?
Yeah, but they have a litany of assistants. I mean, I
Right.
don't I don't know how it works, but what he's done is incredible. He came here from Buchholz, right, as an assistant coach, and 1995, I think, and served in that role for 7 or 8 years, and then took over the men's program in '02, I believe. And then he took over the women in '08. And I will say the women's program the men have really had probably more, I mean, they've had more success than the women's program in terms of winning national championships and stuff. But the women's program has come on big time the last couple few years and dominated SECs. So they've swept cross country, indoor and outdoor for the first time since 1997 when Tom Jones was here. I don't remember him. I guess he was pretty much a legend, Tom Jones. He was the coach here when you were here playing,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then Mouse succeeded him. But they're having a hell of a year. And I tell you, the one that stands out to me is this Alita Van Dalen or whatever, the discus thrower. Are you into this at all?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, I didn't know if
Huh.
you were following it because won the discus 3 straight years. She has the 7 top throws in the NCAA's this year. I mean, she's like incredible. I think I'm going to write a story on her. I'm talking to Mouse at 3 o'clock today. I'm going over there because I want to find out what the hell is going on with this discus thrower. I mean, she's just like, you're right. You don't think about the discus. You remember Al Order?
Hmm.
Won 4 straight gold medals, which is one of the greatest feats in the history of Olympics. I mean, 16 years of dominating event, right? But you don't think of the event of the discus. She's throwing it 218. That sounds like a long way to me.
Does. Yeah, Andy says, appreciate his research here. He says that Tennessee, LSU, South Carolina, Ole Miss all have the same coach for men and women.
Oh, okay. Good for Andy.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, I know about a month ago, Arkansas got rid of men's and women's tennis, but didn't I read where they brought it back?
No, I didn't see that. But SEC spring meetings is next week. I don't know if you do shows Memorial Day or whatever, but we should talk about those at some point. But man, those SEC meetings, you used to go to those and be like, God, what am I going to write about this week? And there might be like some obscure legislative thing, or remember the year Van Jefferson was trying to get that, the transfer rule adjusted. You remember that? And that was a big
Hmm.
story. It's like there are so many damn stories going on in college sports right now. You can't even keep up. All the expansion, the gambling, the Sorsby thing, the expanding this, the playoff, the tournament, obviously just all the rules or hand wringing around NIL and the continued push to generate revenue. And I'm forgetting about 10 stories. I got them all written down in the other room. I left my pad in there. I was looking at this pad a minute ago. It's the wrong pad. But yeah, it's going to be 2 days of craziness. And plus, your boy Lane Kiffin will be front and center again, I'm sure, saying something. You talked that thing to death last week, I'm sure, but what did you think about that?
Well, I grew up in Mississippi. I'm an Ole Miss guy. Um, Look, we know the history of all that, but Ole Miss, I talked about this last week, um, about the regular students. Somebody sent me a screenshot from Twitter or whatever, and I think I deleted it. But just the amount of black students, like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and LSU were like the top three in the SEC. Florida was like 14th of the 16 teams. So I don't buy it at all because Lane had no problems recruiting players to Ole Miss. I don't care what he says. Think about the people he signed out of the portal or whatever. I don't buy it one bit. That's just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion.
Well,
Um,
I think everybody's opinion is it was a cheap shot and it was inappropriate. Yeah, and but the one thing I defended him on is when you're doing a 4 hour interview, can you imagine? And you're just going down various avenues and then you say stuff, but he's pretty calculated, so
yeah, he is, but
he probably intended it.
he didn't mention any of those issues when he was the head coach at Ole Miss. So, look, it is what it is. I cannot. I hope. I want to say the Ole Miss LSU game has already been slated for a night game.
Yeah, it's the
We play.
19th. It's the same day Florida opens at Auburn.
I hope we're the noon game because then that'd be an 11 a.m. game in at Auburn. Um, I hope we're that game. I know people don't like the early game, but I want to be able to watch it on the plane ride back.
I'm all about early games. Get them in the paper and watch ball. Yeah, no, that game is going to be. I was listening to the Dan Wetzel, Reese Davis podcast last night. They were talking about it. They did it last week. And Reese was almost like letting it out of the bag that game day will be there. He's like, we haven't decided it yet, but pretty
Um,
good chance.
Kate Cliff says on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, Lane was always trying to get rid of that image, hence the Black Bear stuff and the Sharks. That was the Black Bears and the Sharks were way before Lane Kiffin became the head coach.
I know nothing about either of them.
Well, they were trying to change the nickname of the Rebels. So then they had this the big goofy looking bear, black bear running around on the sidelines. And then the Land Sharks was the name of their defense that people came up with. This was back when Hugh Freeze was the coach, I believe.
When you said
Um,
Sharks, I thought of McElwain. That's the only shark reference.
yeah. All right. So I got this text to me here from James on the Titan MR text line. He screenshot it and sent it on the text line. I guess it's from SEC Country. The worst 10 SEC football coaches since 2005. Wait, is that 2005? I can't read it. No, 2015. Here's the top 10.
Hmm.
One, Brian Harsin from Auburn. Two, Chad Morris, Arkansas. Three, Jeremy Pruitt, Tennessee. Number four, Charlie Strong at Texas. Five, Derek Mason, Vanderbilt. Six, Billy Napier, Florida. Seven, Matt Luke, Ole Miss. Eight, Hugh Freeze, Auburn. Will Muschamp at nine for South Carolina, and Jimbo Fisher 10 at A&M. What do you think about that, Edgar?
It's a pretty solid list. I mean,
Yeah.
Derek Mason, I'd probably put Billy out of him, but I don't know. I
I think
mean,
the first, Harsin, Chad Morris, Jeremy Pruitt, Charlie Strong, Matt Luke probably
Burrow,
should be a little bit higher.
yeah,
Um,
Billy was pretty bad. But Billy did have the 8-5 year and get to a bowl game. I don't know how many of those guys got to a bowl game,
yeah, I don't either.
right? I mean,
Yeah, just
I don't know
somebody's
if any of
bold.
them did. Did Charlie ever get to a bowl game? Hey, by the way, one other thing real quickly. Chinulu, that's something worth mentioning.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the latest that you've heard on that?
I haven't heard anything. I think the general feeling is he's coming back, right? I think that's how they're proceeding,
Yeah.
expecting that. I mean, Todd has certainly built a hell of a roster. These two international kids are intriguing for sure. And Petrovic and then the kid from Lithuania. I mean, long, shooting skilled guys. But I mean, you got Hout, Condon, you got this backcourt back, Denzel, if he gets eligible. That's still not 100%, right? That he's going to get a waiver. I don't know how this 5 for 5 thing applies. I know it's not retroactive. I don't think it should have anything to do with this decision. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the team's going to be stacked, but man, you get him back and you're anchoring the best rebounding team in the nation. And he had pretty good combine, right?
Yeah.
You saw Graham Hall had a bunch of numbers that credit him with. I wrote about it yesterday, just that he has a decision to make. I mean, 10-inch hand. I didn't realize how like unique that was. 10-inch hand. Jordan's hand was 9.75, by the way. I was researching it. I mean, no
Hmm.
wonder he could do all that stuff with the ball where
Right.
he'd be flying. but yeah, and then his like wingspan was the big longest he's the longest guy at the combine. And then he had a scrimmage, I guess, where he had 15 and 14. And then he had another against Taurus Reed, the UConn kid, where they just battled. I
Hmm.
read some Substack I credited on the thing. So it sounded like he acquitted himself pretty well, and he actually shot pretty well in some of the drills. Not so well in maybe one of them, but pretty well in the others. So, I mean, but he's still a mid 40s pick. Does he want to leave for that? I think he
No.
comes back here, he gets paid well, and they contend for a national title again. I mean, this team is going to be hard to beat. I mean, who's going to beat this team?
Got to shoot the ball better though. And speaking of that, Franklin asked on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, what's the latest on Denzel?
I don't know, but that's the guy played 12 games in 41 minutes. That's kind of like enough that kind of cost you the year, I think. But it's still not even a third of the schedule, and you can make an argument. I guess Todd said 9 minutes of that was against UCF in the NIT. I mean, you played. It doesn't, it would seem there have been get way people have gotten waivers for a lot less, I think. I don't know the whole history of it. I think he should get one, but then they're talking about this 5 for 5 that's going to go in place 5 years, play four and play whatever. You get 5 years to play five or whatever it is. Do you get to play five or you get to play 4 and 5? I mean, but there are no waivers. There's no exceptions that you get a sixth year or seventh year. You get hurt, sorry, that's a year, right? But it's not retroactive. So Denzel's now in his fifth year. Well, I don't think that should apply anyway. Or there are no waivers, so that's retroactive. That isn't retroactive. Are you following me? If there
Yeah,
are no
no,
waivers and 5 for 5 starting in August, okay, that doesn't apply to what Denzel's currently doing. He's currently operating in the current system and he's trying to get a waiver. I'm not saying he shouldn't or should. I don't know the rule well enough, but if he did, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I don't think it's like crazy to think that he should get one, but I don't know that it's a guarantee.
no, I guess we'll find out soon. I don't really know. Florida
Yeah, I
Crackers,
might be totally wrong. Maybe it is a guarantee. I just haven't heard. I mean, it seems like that he did cross the threshold of like how many, I mean, right? The amount of
yeah.
games.
Florida Crackers are brand for original Floridians, great food and southern hospitality. Visit us in Brooksville, Florida. Visit Florida Cracker Oyster Bar in Keystone Heights. Want to give a shout out to Coach Spurrier. He got inducted last night into the South Carolina Hall of Fame, not the University of South Carolina, the state of South Carolina Athletics Hall of Fame. And he took some shots at Dabo as usual.
What do you
Dabo
say?
was in the crowd. It was great. Cracks me up. Cracks me up the stats he comes up with. Um, Edgar, real quick, baseball.
Hmm.
They get some buys here in the SEC tournament. They're playing good baseball right now. If they pitch the way they're pitching, they have a chance. That's the way with softball. Somebody was talking about we haven't played a difficult schedule in softball. I haven't looked at it on paper. I don't know what the strength of schedule is, but hell, we play in the SEC and we're the number 6 overall seed in America. If Keegan Rothrock pitches the way she's capable of pitching, this team will go to Oklahoma City. Baseball is kind of the same way.
Okay. I mean, Aiden King just won pitcher of the year. I wrote about him last week. I like the kid.
Hmm.
Um, nice young man. He was talking about having dyslexia. He kind of volunteered this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and how it was real struggle, but it kind of focuses him in a different way and he's learned to like when he gets like thrown for, kind of thrown, right? Like you
Hmm.
could imagine you're in class and you're not understanding and all the other kids are like cruising along and it's got to be anxiety provoking. He said he uses it with his pitching. Plus, he also said he kind of sees things differently. He has mechanisms to, which is kind of, he thinks it's helped him excel as a pitcher. It's kind of his sanctuary. It was cool. His dad talked to me about it too. It's kind of a cool story to write. And so I'm pulling for him. And that was cool to see him win SEC Pitcher of the Year. But yeah, they're playing well, man. I mean, Sully's no joke, man. And I mean, he's a competitor too, right? The team's struggling. You're thinking, oh, Sully's kind of lost something on his fastball. Yeah, he doesn't look at it that way. So he's got him playing really well. It's funny, I was talking to K-Bro last night about something or yesterday afternoon, and because we're going to try to watch some basketball. And he said they asked, does the softball or baseball team have a better chance to get to the College World Series? What do you think?
Say that one more time.
Baseball or softball, better chance to get to the College World Series given this matchup with Texas Tech, which is as brutal as I've said.
I would say still softball has the better chance. You know,
Okay.
they've been, I think, in Tim's, this is year 21, just say it's 20, because this is year 21, I believe. They've been to the World Series, I think, 13 times.
Yeah, no, this will be 13. I mean, the guy's incredible. Tim Walton's incredible.
Yeah. So this team knows how to get there. Obviously, it's not going to be a cakewalk. But I think playing at home, I think that's going to help. And as you know, Kennedy has not been what she was last year. That doesn't mean she can't turn it on here in two
Well,
games.
no, she's great.
Yeah. So look, like I said, it comes down to Keegan Rothrock, how she pitches. She cannot walk any of these, give them free passes, and we got to play good defense. We'll find enough ways to score runs, I believe. And I
Dude,
like us going.
Tim Walton, man. I mean, he's team sport wise on campus. I mean, he's got probably the best track record of anybody. It's just been going on for 2 decades now. But he's man, he's crafty. They had a double steal in one of the games and scored 2 runs on it, right?
Yep.
Then they had another steal where is it Townsend Thomas stole home. Then they had this one inning where they started out with 2 bunts. Were you watching it?
Yeah.
The inning where they had 2 bunts was
Yeah.
incredible. He bunted, and the bunt was good. And then the next bunt by the Kenley Callahan girl who hit the 3-run shot the day before, it's the best bunt I've ever seen in my life. It was like a Phil Mickelson flop shot. I mean, she hit that thing and it went like just died. Like it was, I mean, he coaches this stuff. Like I asked him at the double steal, he's like, yeah, 2.5 hour film session. Finally, people started listening, or some people, and I'm like, 2.5 hour film session. And then he's like, they just work on this bunning I mean, they are like artists at that stuff. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And he's just excellent. And he's going to figure out ways to get runners on base, advance runners, do stuff like you said, score runs. So they are going to have to keep that lineup in check. But he is obviously, I mean, the guy's a legend. I mean, he's won what 1,100, 1,200 games. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. He hit over 1,200 now in his career. Tommy says on YouTube, Rocked About Quality Plumbing, you guys think Mia Williams coming back's a big deal. I don't think they care. Look, Mia's a good player, but I don't think people realize the amount of money she's being paid. Everybody
Like,
that is going to run into that dugout, how much money those girls are making. The pitcher is making over $1 million. Think about that.
yeah, they've got her for, is
That's
that
probably
Cody?
more than our entire Lady Gators softball NIL, the entire team.
Well, the Cody Campbell, it's that the Wildcatter who's funded that football program
Yeah.
and $25 million roster that and still didn't have a quarterback, and now he has one, and the guy's in a gambling probe. But the softball team candidate was $1 million transfer from Stanford. I guarantee you this Caitlin Terry to leave UCLA for Lubbock. You're
Yeah.
leaving LA and in one of the best public institutions to go to. I mean, look, I've been to Lubbock and covered games at Texas Tech when I was covering sports in New Mexico. It's fine. But I tell you, when the wind's blowing the wrong way, man, you're smelling that oil refinery. It ain't LA, man. I mean, LA's got the smog, but it ain't UCLA, trust me. And then Mia's leaving Gainesville for there. Yeah, I mean, this guy's like cutting some big checks to put this team together.
Yeah. And they have a good team. They do have a good team, but they don't play the schedule we play. Again, I like us at home. Should be a great series. It's the marquee super regional. They
Oh,
sent the number one. We have a game on ABC. It'll be the first softball game on ABC this year. But the number one broadcast crew will be here for our super
who is
regional.
that?
It's the Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza.
Nice.
Uh, I can't think of the girl, the lady, the play-by-play lady right off the top of my head. Holly Rowe will be here. It's
Wow.
the crew that does this that will be doing the Women's College World Series. Yeah.
No, I'm pumped because those are actually some voices to get for stories. But that's cool, man. I'm excited about it. The
Yeah, and I want to
regionals are
say,
always kind of like, but the super regionals I always get pumped for. They're
and I
fun.
believe game one is Friday at 11
Friday at
a.m.
11. And then the Saturday game's ABC at 12:30 Saturday.
Yeah.
And it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. It's good they're getting the early games because it looks like there could be some afternoon thunderstorms. Oh, last one, man. You got to throw me off here in a minute. PGA, what'd you think?
I thought it was phenomenal. I absolutely love it when they set up the golf course the way they did. I was talking about this yesterday on the program with JC. Uh, in my golf group, obviously we have a lot, Coach Deacon, he wasn't there, but a lot of former college golfers that we play with. And I was like, those were like the hardest greens I've ever seen a PGA Tour player play. I've never seen them struggle two putting. I absolutely loved it. And good for Aaron Rye. He's a grinder, and he just at back nine was incredible.
Man, it was funny because I listened to this one golf podcast, Shotgun Start, Andy Johnson, really good commentator on the game, knows his stuff. And he had said on Saturday, and it's obvious, but he's like, someone is just going to get a 6-hole-ish heater and just do some things. He didn't think it was going to be Aaron Rye, though. No one did.
No
But that
one.
course, because it was playing 7,100, a guy like Aaron Rye who's super precise is able to win there. Shinnecock, which is my favorite course personally, Shinnecock Hills, site of the US Open, that is my favorite course. I love that course. The way the wind blows through the freaking
Mm.
fret grasses, it's on the end of Long Island. I mean, it will be blowing. It is hard as hell. The greens are all elevated, they get burned out. That is going to be carnage. He can't win on a course like that. It's just too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up on Donna Ross greens, and the UF greens are Donna Ross. This is a
Yep.
Donna Ross course. So Donna Ross greens are, and Pinehurst, everyone knows, Oakland Hills, those they're very challenging, but that's next level. Those are some of the hardest and best greens on the planet. And guys, when they got 3-footers at the pro level and they're like terrified of a 3-footer, you never see. They usually just scrape those in and move to the next hole. They were like marking them and lining them. I mean, and missing them. Then
Yeah.
it was pretty amazing.
All right, Edgar, before we get you out here, we got a
Yep.
text here. I was saving this for last. This is
Yep.
from George. George wants to know, Edgar, can you please give me your gut feeling on Coach Summerall? I guess he's
My
referring to
gut
how you feel
feeling.
like the season's going to go. I don't really know what he
Well,
means.
I mean, my gut feeling is the guy has just delivered everything you could want thus far. We'll see how it goes in the field, but the guy's just done remarkably well connecting with the fan base, the donor base, not shying away from expectations. He did well putting the roster together. I think he's worried about the offensive line a little bit, as he should be. I mean, he seemed to have hired the right strength coach and staff. I was over there doing that story in the weight room he talked about last time I was on here. It's impressive what they've done in there. I mean, made all the right moves. I have no issues with the guy. I've been, incredibly impressed. But again, it's going to matter what he does on 12 Saturdays next fall. But that's just the start. That's what people got to realize. These things take time to play out, right? What happens next year is important, but I mean, he's got to build. But you find out pretty quickly. We're going to know within a couple of few years how it's going to work out. So he's got to lay the foundation this year and get it going. But I expect us to be impressed by the improvement of this program. So I think it's going to be a massive improvement from what we've been dealing with the last 4 years.
Well, like somebody asked me something similar to this. I don't know if it was on the show somewhere else. I said, look, here's what I love about him. He says what's on his mind. He's not going to play somebody because they're making X amount of dollars in NIL money. He's going to play the best player that gives us a chance of winning. And he said he expects to win now, right? I know he made a joke about jumping off the top of the stadium if things don't go well, blah, blah, blah. But
If they don't go to a bowl game, or if they're
yeah,
talking
I
about
mean,
bowl
the bottom
expectations.
line is he understands. And look, he's been a head coach for 4 years, but he's been very successful in those 4 years, regardless of the level of play, conference, or whatever. Not a lot of people start out their first head coaching job in the Southeastern Conference. You have to start somewhere, just like Coach Spurrier started somewhere. So he's got a great track record, and he just didn't put up with any bullshit. And that's what I love. And he wants to win. And I think he's hired a really good staff, and that's going to help.
When he's leaned on Urban Meyer a lot, and I know Urban left in the dead of the night, and a lot of people weren't happy, but the guy was amazing here. He's the all-time winningest coach percentage-wise other than Newt Rockne at the D1 level, Urban. So, I mean, the guy's incredible. And he went 2 years Bowling Green, 2 years Utah, step up, and then he came here. And Summerall went 2-2, and now he's here. Not saying he's going to be Urban. I mean, I don't see Percy Harvin walking through the door quite yet, or Tebow. But the fact is, I mean, I'm a believer. We'll see, but everything I've seen, as I said so far, has me very optimistic about the direction of things, and that they made a really good hire here.
Yeah. Thanks for Tommy saying. Beth Mowens is the play-by-play. You got Jessica
Okay.
Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe. They're the ones that will be doing the Gators and the Red Raiders starting
Exciting.
on Friday. Edgar, good stuff as always. Let everybody know how they can follow you, and if you got any stuff you're writing about, they can go read.
OS Gators. I mean, I'm hunkering down on softball, doing some other stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna go get Mouse here at 3 o'clock. I always like him. He's a good dude. He bowled his first 300 game. Did I tell you this?
He's a tremendous bowler.
No, he bowled 300 last November, first
perfect.
time in his life. He
Oh,
was
I didn't
very
know that. I
excited.
thought he had a couple of.
No,
Wow.
he never had one. He was like 298 and he bowled 300 last November. He even knew the date, November 10th. I saw him the other day. But anyway, he's a good dude. He's had tremendous success. Thanks, Shane.
All right, that is Edgar Thompson joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. Quick timeout. Come back and get to some of these texts and questions. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang Chalikan. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Real estate attorney Michael Schneider can help you save thousands in real estate commissions, whether you're selling or buying. Michael also provides buyer representation. He will watch out for your best interest. Learn more at maschneiderplc.com. I mentioned earlier Coach Spurrier being inducted into the State of South Carolina Athletics Hall of Fame. And if you have Twitter, you got to listen to some of his speech. It was classic, this, that, and the other, so forth, taking shots at Dabo. But our producer, Zach, was a student at South Carolina when Coach was in school there, and I wanted to bring Zach in. Zach, what was it like? I mean, because South Carolina didn't have a whole lot of success, but Coach Spurrier had a nice little run there. What was it like having the head ball coach kind of take over the South Carolina program when you were in school?
Yeah, so I was actually there from 2010 to 2014, so I was there like right at the heart of Spurrier's run. I mean, it was nice to have hope for a program that doesn't really have a lot of hope. I mean, I'm a pretty self-aware South Carolina Gamecock fan, and that was definitely the biggest run we've had, not only in my lifetime, but I mean, frankly, ever. I was there when they beat Alabama in that big game where Alshon Jeffrey just went absolutely ballistic. I was there in the game where against Tennessee where Marcus Lattimore tore his ACL and the place got so quiet you could hear a pin drop. But yeah, I mean, the best thing about it was just feeling like you had a chance to win every year. They did go to the SEC championship, and I mean, they got beat pretty bad by that Cam Newton-led Auburn team that probably would have beat just about anybody. But yeah, it was just nice having hope and optimism around a program that frankly has lacked a lot of that over the years.
Yeah, it was. I was talking to somebody, I guess it was JC and I were talking on this program the other day. I don't know what brought it up, but Coach is one of the top college coaches of all time. There's no question about that. But players loved playing for him, and some people didn't think he was a great recruiter, but if you go back and you look at all the players that played for him in his 12 years at Florida, was he at South Carolina for 10 years, something like that? I mean,
yeah,
so
yeah.
so many guys that went to the National Football League, but just great college players. And the players he had at South Carolina with Lattimore and Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes, Stephon
Gilmore, Alshon Jeffries. I mean, it was crazy the amount of talent that he kept. I mean, those are all kids that played high school ball in South Carolina. But the guy has an eye for talent. There's no question about that. And it was cool to see what he did at South Carolina. But congratulations to Coach. Another Hall of Fame that he has been inducted into. But if you have not seen his speech on Twitter, it just cracks me up. Us former players that we're on like this text feed, and anytime we see stuff with Coach on it, we send it to one another, and it just cracks us up because it's so damn funny to us. He's a character for sure. There's nobody like that man, and he has more stats. He comes up with some stats that you're like, Coach, where the hell did you find these stats? But his mind is still very, very sharp. And I haven't talked to him since he walked out with Morgan Wallen. I have to see where that ranks up in his lifetime achievements. But anyway, congratulations to Coach. Again, tonight, the Eastern Conference Finals cranks up the Cavaliers and the Knicks. and we talked about softball, big series. I can't remember. I mean, we've hosted multiple super regionals. A lot of times it's been other SEC opponents battling with the Gators to go to OKC, but well, this is a high profile matchup, no doubt about it. And also, I want to give a mention. I saw it yesterday. The softball team has rebranded kind of their booster club. It's called the Gator Softball Diamond Club. Cool logo with the sunflower. You can go if you want to help out their program, join and give a donation, which is desperately needed for sure. But Tim Walton and his staff does a tremendous job, and good luck to them this weekend. And baseball cranks up. I think baseball will probably play Kentucky if they win, and then they'll have to face Alabama. And I was talking to Cardozo the other day. He said he thinks if they beat Alabama, that I'll probably get them a top 8 seed. So we'll wait and see. The Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, invite you to try the mango martinis at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, handcrafted with their J.F. Hayden liqueurs. Try those flavors or find your favorite shop, jfhaydens.com. Before we get out of here, this day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. And of course, every time I click on this thing, it goes away. So let me pull it up. This was 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, which I've played that golf course. Great golf course. Xander Schauffele played it during training camp, by the way. Carson Palmer and I left the Bengals training camp one day to go play Valhalla. Xander Schauffele claims his first major title with a one-stroke win over Bryson DeChambeau. And I meant to ask Edgar his thoughts on DeChambeau because Edgar covers golf a lot. I think DeChambeau just needs to go back playing golf. Quit all this analytical, these goofy clubs and putting devices. He's got too much talent to be not a very good player right now. So that's gonna do it for today's program. Tomorrow we'll be here. We appreciate you chiming in. Real quick, Atlantic Roofing, your roofing experts for residential commercial roofing with more than 50 years of local experience. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.